Hello again everybody, back with another video. This one looking at the code of the George Floyd and Daunte Wright killings, and this is just going back to Black Lives Matter protests that happened in London back sometime during the first lockdown. I can't remember exactly when it was, but police were going around hassling people for not standing 2 metres apart. And then we had this nonsense with the police there. No face masks, people shouting at them, and this silent spreader spewing, obviously, the really nasty coronavirus all over them. So that was before the police were made to wear face masks to obviously keep up the image of the pandemic. But anyway, I'm not going on too much about that, but the George Floyd killing kicked off all the Black Lives Matter nonsense that followed. So let's take a look at some of the code of the George Floyd killing first. So firstly, looking at the code, George Floyd is actually in English ordinal 119. That can be 911, but it's one of their key numbers, I think, that gives the 66 code, because flip the 9 180 degrees and you've got 11 sixes for 66. Now, George Floyd died on the 25th of May 2020, and I've put it in inverted commas, let's say allegedly died. And if we look at Floyd, that's 62 in English, 26 in Pythagorean or full reduction, and these give multiples of 6, so we've got 66, 66, and Chaldean is 23 for 2 3s for 33. If we look at G, Floyd, that gives us 33 in Pythagorean numerology or full reduction. So there's our 33 for Masonry. Now if you write out the 25th of May, look what you get. You get English 216 for 6 by 6 by 6. Reverse ordinal, so this is when Z equals 1 and A equals 26, we get 216 again for 6 by 6 by 6. Reverse full reduction or reverse Pythagorean, we get 72 for 6 plus 6 times 6, and in Chaldean we get 72 for 6 plus 6 times 6. So coincidence? And if we look at the cop that allegedly killed him, Derek Michael Chauvin in Pythagorean is 33 for Masonry, and Michael is 33 for Masonry. Derek is 18 for 3 6s for 666, and D Chauvin is 37 for 777, and 37 by 18 equals 666. Okay, so what this kicked off was all these Black Lives Matter protests, as I said on the intro slide. And I Can't Breathe, for example, is in English is 106 for 7, and in Pythagorean it's 52 for a 7. But all this is completely staged, kicked off by the alleged killing of George Floyd. So Black Lives Matter, I think they've changed the name now, but Black Lives Matter in Pythagorean is 56 for 7 times 7 plus 7, so there's our 777 code, and BLM in English is 27 for 2 7s for 77. And then we had all this nonsense, so these going around breaking up groups of 6, fining people for having too many people in the gardens at the time, are there totally staged photograph on their knees in front of all these people with no face masks on at the time apart from the photographer, spewing coronaviruses all over them. So that's why I've put the WTF there. And then of course in our Black Lives, I don't think this was London, we had this creature here, who's a clear Illuminati puppet or elite puppet, Freemason. We've also got a 77 code on this speaker, And I must admit, I did the face mask, but it's not really on there, but never mind. Let's move on. So, we've now got the trial of Derek Chauvin going on. And apparently, the guy that died because he couldn't breathe managed to say, "I can't breathe," 27 times. That takes some doing if you can't breathe, but there we go. We've got 27 for 7-7. We've also got the prosecutor here, who's Steve, what's that, Schilcher? God knows how you say that. But that's SS, same initials, which is always a code. And SS is 33 in Chaldean numerology. And not only did he say, "I can't breathe," 27 times, but Chauvin was on top of Mr. Floyd for 9 minutes 29 seconds. So look what we've got. We've got a 9 and a 2 plus 9 for 911, which is a popular code to give us 66 codes. So coded a lot. Now moving on, we've got this recent killing, which is going to spark off all kinds of Black Lives Matter type protests. It's already doing so. But let's take a look at this. Now, this woman allegedly pulled out a gun instead of a taser and shot him accidentally. Well, this was a veteran apparently, age 48. There's a 12 for reverse, 21 for 777. But we've got a picture of this Kim Potter, who allegedly killed this guy. And look at the car, 331. We've got a 33, and we've got a 3 plus 3 plus 1 for a 7. Now, K Potter in Pythagorean is 33 for masonry. Kim is 33 for masonry. And D Wright, for Daunte Wright, is 44 in Pythagorean. The kill number or death's doors, 44. But look at the date that it was allegedly shot on. It was the 11th of April 2021 for 11 by 4 for 44. So we've got a link here between the two. So plenty of code there. And I found this press release talking about the death and the shooting. So we've got a case number here, which coincidentally adds up to 21. Forget the zeros. And there we have 777, 3 sevens. The full name apparently is Daunte Demetrius Wright. Demetrius is 114 in English for 44 again, and 42 in Pythagorean for 6 times 6 plus 6. This postcode of the location of the injury, MN55429, is 52, 34 in Pythagorean and 34 in Chaldean. So we've got a host of 7 code in the popular numerologies. So this is English here. We've got Catherine Drive, or Catherine Drive, and Catherine is 37 in Pythagorean for 3 sevens for 777. 37 code's also popular because if you multiply it by 18, which is 666 code, you get 666. Now coming back here, the location was on 63rd Avenue, so we've got 63 for 666, and the death occurred at 218, so we've got 2 18s for 36 for 3 6s for 666. So quite a lot of code in that little press release there. Now, when you look at these 2 key deaths, so we've got the George Floyd killing, and don't be surprised if they find a not guilty verdict on the police officer, because that will kick off even more riots. And maybe if this was staged, for example, maybe they want racial division and people fighting each other and riots and disorder. Maybe that's a good thing. And also it's also a bit of a distraction to one of the main themes at the moment, which is I won't say it, but the convid, I won't say it in full, but you know what I'm talking about. But George Floyd was killed on the 25th of May 2020, killing in inverted commas, and Daunte Wright was killed on the 11th of the 4th 2020. Now I've included the day, the final day, but look what happens when you calculate the amount of time between them. We get 322 days for Skull and Bones, which is also a representation, a code to represent 66 code. 322 is a 66. So you can see here, is this a coincidence, guys? I kind of don't think it is, to be honest. But I'll leave that up to you. But that's all I've got to say on this one. So you can work out what my views of it all is. I can't say too much because the video will be taken down. It probably will be taken down anyway, but I thought I'd have my say on this one. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and goodbye.